Is it live? Okay, the
I don't know,
button
let's find out.
says we went live. It says we're connecting to the stream. Who knows whose stream we're connecting to? Because I don't know if it carried over my.
You're live.
Am I live? I can't see it. This isn't good. I want to be able to see what's going. I guess I can see what's going on. You sure I'm live?
Oh, I'm positive.
You mean? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying it like that?
Probably because I'm watching you.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's funny how much you don't understand technology.
What? Where am I? Why is this happening to me? All right, we're going to click that button. We're going to click this button. We're going to click over here. Where's the chat in here? Can you type something in the damn chat since it doesn't allow me to actually watch our videos for some reason? There. Oh, never mind. I see it. Yeah. False alarm. False alarm. That's okay. It's okay. There. We're live.
Where am
There's
I?
the chat.
Why is this
Okay.
happening to me?
Oh my God, now it's delayed. I
That
need to there, get rid of that shit so I don't hear myself twice. Thanks, Gary. Or Papa Bear. Hello. I got my caps lock on. Caps lock's
Oh,
all
man.
screwed up. There. I don't see the chat on the thing. Do you see the chat? I don't see the chat.
I can see the chat, but
On the stream?
yeah.
In like inside the video?
In the video?
Like next to your face on the right, it's supposed to be there. I don't see it.
No, but sometimes that takes like multiple comments for it to populate.
Oh, I see it. It's down there. You just can't read it because it's, hard to see.
Oh, yeah. Really down there at the little part.
Yeah, I made it like super dark, I guess, because I wanted to be able to see through it. Anyways, so we are picking up from yesterday, right? Kind of.
I believe. That is the goal. Now you can see the chat.
Is it clear?
No, if you look at it now.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not okay. I don't have to adjust nothing. You can see that perfect.
Yeah, I just thought that I would throw in some time because again, the way that those overlays are set up is there definitely has to be a good amount of like communication coming through so that it'll start just layering it.
Yeah. Now mine's gone though.
Yeah, it only shows a certain amount. Realistically, you don't need that.
I don't?
The chat overlay?
How am I gonna see who's talking? I gotta be able to see things, man. I'm half blind. You didn't know that about me? That's something you probably didn't know. Okay, so yesterday we ended with LAZR. And LAZR.
You need LASIK eye surgery, is what you need.
I do need LASIK eye surgery. I don't find that very humorous. That shit's expensive.
I find it humorous. All right.
Laughing at my elderliness. So yesterday.
Yeah.
Looks like LAZR has gone down from yesterday. A little bit. Like a penny and a half or something. So it's not looking good for them. However, I would like to make a correction from yesterday's video because I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Hamed Khorsand, who I thought was the man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying
not?
I'm not saying he's not. Okay. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that I saw these 41.29% upside for Victor or whatever, and I thought that's what he hit on his call so far, like to date. That's where it was. It's not, I don't believe. I believe that's just if he's right, that's the difference. And I don't know when that is, if that's the difference from today to then or the difference from when he made the call to then. So we'll do some math on that later and figure it out. But I am interested in this one. REGI, this is his most recent call. So he made this 3 days ago, and he made a buy there. He made a buy there. I mean, every time he said to buy, except for that time. It's pretty much gone up. REGI, REGI. Look at that. And ouch. Like somebody doesn't agree with him as of the last like minute in the after hours. Actually, this doesn't show in the app. Might not be. Either way, doesn't look all that great, but at the same time, it doesn't look all that bad because it's renewable energy and Biden, right?
No.
That's not enough.
No, because when we were looking at this yesterday, you had to go, and this is the company that had this the surveying.
No, that was
drone.
LAZR. I'm looking at REGI.
REGI. Oh, we already moved on. Okay. REGI. Okay. So
yeah,
what
LAZR
company
I
is
didn't
this?
think looked good. This is
Let's
Renewable
see.
Energy Group Inc.
Got it. Wow, they've taken a nosedive since February. Huh?
Yeah, it went up after his last time he said he said to buy it though. When he said to buy it last time, it was at 84.29, and then it topped out at like 113, and then it dropped. So it's gone up just about every time. 67% success rate on this stock, and the average profit on the stock, 59.8%. So, I mean, not bad. Right?
No, not too bad, I guess. I mean, however, right now it's recommending to sell, which is kind of funny, because if you did invest in it back when it was $85 or even when it was 100, you're kind of losing your ass right now if you sell it.
That's true. Like if you would have got it at the 84 when he said to buy it the first time,
Even if you got it for 60, you're still losing.
Yeah, you'd be holding on tight. But I mean, it's Hamed Khorsand. I'm just saying.
I mean, that means nothing to me. You know what it is? It's REGI. It's graphs. They're doing shit for renewable energy group. They obviously are not doing something right because, in my opinion, the company has to be doing things the right way in order for the stock to be going up. Because if the company is successful, the stock should be successful. If the company is unsuccessful or bottoming out, or for instance, they've lost the drive and what they need to do to actually bring in that green energy, that renewable resource, or they're doing things that other companies already did, then yeah, I can see them plummeting like they are now.
Exhibit A, HWIN, the Delhi stock.
Are we going back to?
We're back on the Delhi stock, okay? You see our ticker?
Right.
You see we got a ticker up at the top now on the stream?
Let's see.
It's got the Delhi stock up there.
Oh yeah. All right. Oh, you're finally getting fancy with stuff. Like for some reason, you still don't have the screen in the main screen with your graphs. You could make that smaller to where the whole screen is actually on the right hand side, so that it's not behind our faces.
I could, yeah, that's true. Do you see it yet?
No, I see the ticker. I do.
No, do you see the change?
Oh man, Dogecoin. Oh, the change with when?
It's on the right now.
I mean, it looks like it's
the screen
raw.
It's not behind us anymore.
Wow, you're quick.
Yeah. Like, boom.
Yeah. Learning things.
That's all I want to learn too. Yeah. So these guys, right? So it comes out that they're deli. It's $100 million deli, one deli, right? And
one deli, one sandwich,
one deli. Many 500 sandwiches. They got at least 5 sandwiches. So it drops, right? And then it drops hardcore down to 9 from 13, but closes at the end of the day at $12.95. So it dropped, but I mean, it's substantial for it's a good percentage, but it is hung here. Now it's gone. It went all the way up the following day at one point to even higher than what it was before people found out it was one deli. 15.79 before it came back down and closed at 13 or whatever. So you tell me what the hell's going on? And there was news that the dude who was involved with it was like arrested by the FBI or had gotten in trouble for setting up shell companies.
Did that actually come out? Like that wasn't false?
Yeah, no,
like,
that
okay,
was
so,
your guess was like correct.
We were totally like, come on, but we had to speculate because none of it was factual evidence. That is fantastic. How the fuck is this stock still doing well with him getting arrested?
I don't know. I mean, I found it. There's a bunch of BS in here because of that joke, but it turns out that there actually was some credible information. I don't know, the guy who helped set the stock up, the CFO or something like that, had been arrested for something previous, but it was something previous that when you take this into account, it was like, look, you were arrested for making, bad Pokemon jokes or whatever. And then someone was like, did this guy make the bad Pokemon joke? No, he didn't. But he was arrested for it previously. Look, the wall, it hasn't come crashing down yet, but
I mean, even if it does,
okay,
even if the stock plummets, like what did we figure out with the win? How many shares are on the market for this? Is the volume 3.399K? So 3,399 or what the
let's take a look. So the float is 149,000, so basically about 150,000 shares are available.
Okay, so 150,000 shares. Even if, now I'm not saying this is going to happen, but even if this stock was to plummet to the same cost of Dogecoin.
Okay, yeah.
As an example.
Sure.
The value of the stock is still more than what that deli made in 2 years. So the owner of the deli is not losing anything, even if it plummets like that, which is still kind of like, well, what the fuck is going on?
So Exhibit A, and we have the company I think we were just talking about, either LAZR or REGI, was where you were making the point that the company should have to do good for the stock to move. It doesn't.
It makes sense.
It moves based off of whatever the hell is wrong with people that have money that decide. Speaking of which, so yesterday, the whole thing of this was the market crash and the SPY, right? That was, things were going crazy. Nobody knew what was happening. Oh my God, it was the end of the world, right? And it's higher today than it was yesterday. So it fell really hard and it closed just about the same as it did the day before. And then today it's closed higher. So I don't even know, it's supposed to be given some back, but I think that, I don't know, I think some people sold off trying to make like a trap basically and scare everybody off,
I mean, if this is what's the safest way to say it without making it sound criminal?
What are we talking about? SPY or are we talking about the deli?
I'm still stuck on the fucking deli.
No, go to the deli. Say it. Okay. I want to hear what you got to say.
So regardless of both of these, SPY or deli, if somebody did decide to sell, or a couple of people just to try to drop it and scare people off, maybe it's because they came into some extra cash that they need to store somewhere, and purchasing little $13, $14 stocks at small increments is way better than doing a $10,000 transfer of funds, which has to be immediately reported and looked at by the federal government.
Yeah, but you're still transferring money, so the federal government's seeing it.
You're still transferring money. However,
unless you already had it in an account.
In small increments,
Yeah. Okay.
over
Yeah.
a period of time,
Sure. Yeah. Every day, a couple here, a couple there.
it
Yeah.
doesn't come with that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I can say that because, again, not diving into my employment history,
But you are ex-FBI.
I I work for a financial corporation.
The SEC. No, and you are not a financial advisor. None of this is financial
I'm
advice.
not a financial advisor. I would not recommend moving
Anything.
your money in small amounts to try to hide it from the government. That's a bad idea.
This makes sense.
Although, if you need some tips, I mean, hey, my PayPal's open. You could send me some money. I'll send you some advice. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, either way,
We're all
on
going to
both of
jail.
these, because the like going between the deli and then going over to SFTBY, both of these did have that small dip, but then they're starting to kind of come right back up. And
Yeah.
both of these, even if someone dropped $4,500 on either one of these stocks, SFTBY or Quant, that's not going to be monitored directly through the government. Sure, the bank itself would have to have its own due diligence, and if they start to notice something that looks suspicious, or that's like, oh, well, this is an odd amount of money, we need to keep an eye on this. Yes, if they don't do that, and comes to find out the individual is doing those types of things, the bank loses out on a hell of a lot of money as well, because they get fined by the government for not actually following those due diligences. So
Okay, my criminal brain's working. My criminal brain's working.
Bring
Here we go.
Bring it on.
Okay, so I'm the mafia guy, right?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I got $1 million. I got to move, right?
Okay.
I go and I give it to local people who buy my sandwiches, right?
All right.
Or a pastrami on rye.
Already doesn't work.
Nope. And
already doesn't work because the deli only made $35,000 in 2 years.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You give me $5. You give me $5, and I'm going to give you $3,500. You got to buy this stock with the $3,500, and then, and this wouldn't be the stock to do it with, but say you could do it with Dogecoin. Say, it's at 50 cents, and you're going to buy all Dogecoin with this $3,500 through Robinhood, and then it's going to.
Oh, now we're calling out a specific financial company. Be
careful.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. No, okay. What I'm saying is if there was a movie made by some. Okay, I'll just call out a bunch of other names, and that'll make it It's okay if I say Tom Hanks,
Raymond James, Edward Jones, Fidelity.
Thank you. Yes, all these people are involved in this thing, right? The pastrami on rye double dip is what you call it. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, the point is.
You want to go with that? Yeah, all right. Make it racist. No.
Yeah, make it racist. No. And you could do this though. You could technically, with some kind of over-the-counter stock, a pump and dump with a large amount of money by spreading it out over, 1,000 of your, buddies. Let's say, your pastrami
realistically,
buddies.
there's a lot easier way to do it.
There is.
There's a lot easier way to do it, and it's something that would be,
Is it legal? Is this conspiracy?
I don't think I can give this advice.
Are we allowed?
I honestly.
This isn't advice. You're not giving advice. None of this is advice.
Okay. All right. So non-advice.
Yeah.
Hypothetical. Let's say you had 10 grand to move.
For science, 10 grand.
For science, you had 10 grand to move. You didn't want anybody to know that you're moving it because it was, lack for a better term, dirty money.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you spill some dirt on it, it gets ink, something. However, regardless of whatever the amount of money is, let's say you're also a financial advisor. So people, and that, like, well, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, this would be safe, this would be fine, but it's all going to be tracked because it's over a certain dollar amount. In a hypothetical scenario, something I would not recommend to anyone. Financial institutions write off. What's the exact amount here? Hold on, let me Google this. I'm gonna get the exact dollar amount here.
Oh dang! I gotta get the call on this.
Okay, so
what is it?
So it's in the upwards billions.
Oh my god! What's
the average is like 4.6 billion. And this is money that the banks write off, right? And the reason that it's money that they write off is for a couple of reasons. One, specifically because the individual filed the claim way too late. Therefore, technically speaking, even though the bank wants to cover them because they're offering that kind of zero liability feature, because they waited so long and reported it so late, the bank's the one that has to cover the cost.
So wait,
the other instances
when we say write off, are we talking about writing off like my ex-girlfriend, writing her off, or how?
Meaning, like, let's say you bought something for $100, you reported it late, the bank just basically covers that money.
Okay, then yes. Okay, got it.
So here's another thing. Let's go back to that hypothetical situation. Cost of living. In my local area, as an example, most jobs are starting around $14, $15 an hour right now, which is great. Here's where moving those hypothetical dirty laundry comes in handy. If you have access to friends, family, peers, whatever, it's like, oh yeah, I see you were looking at buying, this item. Well, I mean, it's only $20, so I'll give you 30 and just go ahead and buy it. And then,
give me 10 back.
Then no. A little bit different.
Okay.
Basically, the individual is going to be out the additional 10. However, to clean it, that's not a bad fee, because the individual, you can take all these financial institutions into consideration. If the certain dollar amount threshold is not met when a charge is reported as fraud, it is not worth the time for them to pay their employees to research it, and they write it off. I'm not going to give the exact dollar amount, but you can guess it's pretty close. And if it hits that amount, it's just written off, and the bank will cover it because it is not cost effective. Now, what happens in a situation like that, especially if the account has a zero balance, they're going to go ahead and put the money right back on the account as a credit. And then you can request to have that credit sent to you as a check in the mail. It's a process.
Great.
But
that's great.
But you'd never be found out because of that silly feature of zero liability associated with banks, and that they love to advertise it, and it's one of the biggest perks of using their cards is zero liability.
Whoa! Hey, we're getting a little close here.
I'm just saying. Like it's crazy the amount of ways or loopholes that these businesses are creating because they don't do the due diligence. That's it. That's all. I'll be into that. That's it. That's as far as I'll go. But it's definitely crazy.
It is. There's just something wrong with everything. Okay, so
and not to mention that, but those companies still make a profit each quarter too.
Yeah, right. It's definitely not hurting them. That's for sure.
No, definitely not at all.
All right, let's take a quick look. I think we already looked at REGI, right? I mean, if we've decided that it's renewable energy,
they're doing a shit job. That's why the stock is falling.
Hamed
I don't even
swears
know the
by it.
company, but just by judging the stock and that they're renewable energy, I mean, again, I could be wrong. I don't know this company. I don't know exactly what they do. But what I'm looking at is it's a process industry. Chemicals is their specialty, and it's for renewable energy. And honestly, the last couple of quarters have been dog shit from what I'm looking at on TradingView right now. And I just feel as if a company is doing something to improve the carbon footprint to make it, less of an impact, they really should be having a better, stock value. The only thing I think that could impact it if they were actually doing a good job is if that they were invested in a certain additional type of resource that they need. And that, for instance, fell to where they could no longer get it. Like for instance, the cost of lumber. It's astronomical in a lot of places right now because apparently it's not available. But yet videos keep coming out where they're like, no, they have it. They have it stockpiled at their warehouses. I know because I go and pick it up and drop it off for them. They're just not sending it out.
So something happened. So, okay. They're pretty healthy as a company. Their cash flow is
That's good.
gone through some stuff, but in general they look pretty healthy. But the most recent news, is this the most recent news I hear? Let me double check here. As of 10 o'clock this morning, Glancy, Prongay, and Murray, like Glengarry Glen Ross, Glancy, Prongay, and Murray, LLP, reminds investors of looming deadline in the class action lawsuit against Renewable Energy Group, Inc., REGI.
Oh, wow.
April 23rd, 2021. Globe
And
Newswire. Oh, and then before that, the Louisiana Attorney General. Awesome. Okay, so there's.
It's funny though, is that even with that reminder coming out today, it's gone up by $1. The stock went up. I mean, it's not nearly as high, obviously, but still, it went up from 57.58 to 58.64. So I mean that.
It dropped though. I mean, it was at it did take a bit of a dive.
Yeah, because yesterday on the 22nd, it was over 60.
Yeah. So it dropped about $2. And then it dropped even worse. It dropped all the way down to 56 and then recouped and landed at 58. So yeah, I mean it held it pretty good, I'd have to say in low volume. So even with that news, it was like, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing we were already doing. We don't care.
Now, what was the news on this company right below that? Because I was reading something that you had pulled up there that was about the Louisiana Attorney General.
Reminds investors with losses in excess of $100,000. Yeah, so same kind of thing. It's an alert by the Louisiana Attorney General is basically like, hey, remember
on the 21st still though.
If you got more than $100,000 in losses, there's a deadline for the class action lawsuit.
So then, if we go a little bit further back, just a quick skim through, are all of these? Yeah, okay. So yeah, the reminder back on 19th is about the lawsuit. Like the reminder on the 17th is about the lawsuit. Like
holy shit, yeah, it's all.
This is why it dropped. So again. Yes, the company was doing something.
Okay, so that's what Hamad is seeing. That's what he's seeing. Is it's over. The deadline's coming up today, right, or whenever. I don't want to give wrong information to some poor schmuck who lost a bunch of money with these guys somehow. But deadline's coming up, and you got a chance to make some money with REGI. Good old REGI, man.
Yeah, here's the money you're gonna make. They're going to pay out this lawsuit. The stock's going to plummet a little bit more. Then it's going to be the opportunity to buy it because outside of this lawsuit, it seems like a pretty successful company. So if it has the ability to rebound, could make decent money. However, I would recommend looking into the lawsuit specifically to see if there was anything that involved, like loss of human life or something. Because I mean, there's not really going to be a good way to rebound from that. I mean, they're not an airliner; they can't just drop a few planes and not find them and then be like, "Sorry guys, nobody's going to use this for travel." Bullshit.
I don't
People still
know.
go on planes,
I don't
but
know. Do I gotta
yeah,
do I
it's
gotta bring
very.
up the deli again
We could,
with the mafioso?
I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe there's loss of life. I mean, excess of $100,000 in losses. That's a heavy hit for some people. So whatever happened, and I don't feel like reading a bunch of nonsense to find out. But maybe I may revisit this. I may look into that a little bit further and see, because let's say for instance, lawsuit occurs somewhere
so
around
the
February
market.
10th.
Sorry to interrupt you. The market capitalization on this is around $2.65 billion. So even a hundred thousand
Holy
dollar lawsuit, they're fine.
jeez. Well, no, it's each person that
I
is in the
mean,
class action lawsuit has 100,000. So yeah,
so
still
that they might not be fine.
it's probably still not horrible. You
I mean,
know,
but it could be close to a mil, which
it's probably
I
well
mean,
over that.
probably. But at the same time, that depends upon, is this because they were, improperly getting rid of, old resources and not actually, converting them? And was it harming like an apartment complex? Was it harming like a local park where,
They probably
just as an example? So,
they
I mean,
probably lied on this fourth quarter financial is probably what happened. They probably lied, said they had something in the works that they didn't have, caused people to buy stock when it wasn't really justified to go up. Um, let's see, earnings call. Frank Cruz announces investigation of Renewable Energy Group Inc. on behalf of the investors. If you're a shareholder who suffered a loss, click here to participate. On February 21st or 25th, 2021, after the market closed, Renewable Energy issued a press release announcing its fourth quarter and full year 2020 financial results. Therein, the company revealed that it would restate 38.2 million in cumulative revenue by January 2018 through September 30th, 2020, because renewable energy was not the proper claimant for certain BTC bio Bitcoin biodiesel mixture excise tax credits. So they said that they were going to get some tax credits, didn't get it. Payments on biodiesel, it's sold between January 1st, 2017 on September 30th, 2020. Okay, so there's these excise tax credits for biodiesel, and they're like, yeah, we were a part of that for like a whole bunch of it, but it wasn't them, it was their vendors or someone else they're involved with that gets the tax credit, and they don't get the tax credit, but they insinuated, it
So,
sounds
I
like, that
mean,
they did. People made
either
financial
that or they
decisions
had a
based off of
really
that.
shitty accountant and they're no longer with the company
Oh, that
now.
probably happens later. I'm sure the CFO leaves is another when it continues on its decline. They reached an agreement with the IRS on $40.5 million assessment, excluding interest, to correct these claims. On this news, the company's share price fell sharply during the after hours trading. Oh, rough too, because after hours trading, a lot of people aren't trading; they're just looking at it like, oh. Follow us on Twitter. If you purchased this during that time, you could sue Frank R. Cruz of the law offices of Frank R. Cruz. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So there's that. So yeah, so I'm looking at what Hamed's thinking here, and I need to do a little bit more research into Hamed, make sure, or Hamed, or however you say his name, Mr. Khorsand, and see if he's the real deal. I don't think he is, but I think he's
Get
needing a
lucky.
win. Oh,
Oh,
jeez, that
he needs a win. That
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, he needs a
everyone
win.
needs a win, but I mean,
Yeah, but I think his numbers didn't look too good. What is this? 57% success rate? Like I'm thinking if I'm at BAWS, I'm looking over at Hamed here, and I'm like, hey, bro, you better get your chips up. You better make some good calls, because right now I might as well flip a coin. How much is Hamed making over there to be a financial? He's Wall Street analyst, 57%. Come on, man.
I mean, yeah, but if you're looking at the other ones that we saw the other day when we were looking at this, they had a 50% success rate as well. I mean, realistically, I don't think there's been one person that we have looked up that's had more than a 70% success rate. And
Oh no,
if we
there's some
do
good
see
ones.
them, I mean, there could be some good ones, but how are they getting that success rate compared to everyone else, especially if the average is below 50?
78, 79, 79, 78, 83, 80, 78,
All
80.
I'm getting at is insider information. That's all you're
Yeah,
telling
no, it
me.
probably is. Yeah, for sure. I mean, to some degree or another. And it's not just it's insider information. It's hitting the pavement. It's making phone calls. I mean, they're doing the things that an analyst is supposed to do. And part of that is technically it's all inside information to some degree
It's
or another.
doing the work.
Yeah, he's calling up. He's calling up Reggie and going, "Hey, what's the deal? Are you guys going under? Is this going to put you out of business? Because I'm about to lose my fucking job here, bro. Give me a win. Come on, let me know." And I feel like what he's thinking here is that this news breaks, right? It's at 1:13. It drops on the news, and it's dropped ever since. And now the final is done. The final, the lawsuit isn't over, but like it's the last opportunity for people to get
Okay.
involved. So the company's been able to budget and predict how much they're going to lose if they lose, and if they don't lose, which I'm sure they will, not lose all that money. And if they do lose, they know how much they're going to lose. And so it should be nothing but net from here, right? You're looking
I
at.
mean, I don't know, because if you go back to his screen where he specifies buy, is he specifying to buy it back when it was at around $73 a share?
Yeah, but he was right. This is before the lawsuit. So it looks like he already believed in this company, right? He believed in it at 85 or so, and it went up. He called it right around January 8th or something. Let's see.
I really wish on this review thing if it would show if these analysts have stock in these specific companies.
I don't I don't know if they might. I don't know if they do or not. I don't know what the legality is of that. And the company
Yeah, I
that
don't know
they
either.
work for, BWS is probably there's definitely associated in, and I would assume yes, they do. Like he's an analyst working at a company going, this is a win. There's a trader in that company going, okay, Ahmed, let's run with it. And he's a portfolio manager and he takes a 50 mil or whatever he's got a percentage of his portfolio that he's managing and he tosses it in there and goes, I'm going to run with Ahmed on this, and God, I don't get screwed again. But he
And
needs a
then now
win.
he's in
So,
Ahmed's office and he's like, "You mother!" No.
well, he probably was after that, and he's like, "Hey, bro, how am I supposed to know these guys lied on that?" And be like, "Well, because you're the analyst, so maybe you should look that up." I don't know, but then it falls. So he's banking, I'm assuming, on the fact that this thing, I mean, it's got a long way to go back, right? I
It
mean,
does. Like
58.
it dropped over 50% essentially.
And it doesn't mean it's going to get all the way back there, and it doesn't mean it's going to get back there in that timeline, but I feel like and this is what I said when I first saw him on the other one we were looking at, and that's that I feel like he needs a win, and so he's looking at some stuff that's kind of I don't want to call it a no-brainer, but I don't know, I like it. I'm going to look more into it because it's not I know I don't like the chart. Like normally I'd look at that and say, game over, bitches.
What's the Mac Daddy show?
The Mac Daddy says it's time to go down. But
Then
unless there's a catalyst, and
okay,
technically there's two
there's
catalysts.
already
There's the end
yeah.
of the class action lawsuit cutoff, right, is occurring, and then they have earnings on May 3rd. So in a couple weeks they'll have earnings.
So then realistically, you would basically have to wait and see what this lawsuit produces, like how much they're paying out, and attempt to justify, okay, if they're going to pay $23 million out of this lawsuit, but they're profiting
43.
40 million or 43, so that they're still making a profit of at least 20 million, it potentially could still see a rise after the fact. However, it definitely would be a risk, because if there is no gain and it just loses its ass based off of this lawsuit, which, I mean, if it's a class action lawsuit, we should be able to see, how many people have already registered for it and whatnot online, to get a good idea in reference to, how many potential payouts are going to be associated with this. Which, I mean, that's obviously the analyst's job, anyways, if they're going to recommend that you want to buy it, but still, if it's something you're going to look at yourself and use, your money rather than someone else's, then it's probably something to definitely look at and take into consideration.
Yeah, for sure. There's I mean, normally I honestly on a lot of stuff I don't care too much. I won't look into because I'm not going to live with this thing forever. And if I get into this, it's going to be, I'm going to watch probably the next 2 days and see if I start seeing red and how high that red goes on the Mac Daddy. See if people start selling off, which they probably will. I'll probably try and catch it at the height of the sell-off, maybe the 29th. Oh, wait a minute. And
that would be right before the announcement of the new
right before.
quarter.
Yep, right before earnings.
I mean, it could be positive or negative at that point.
Yep.
So it's a gamble.
It's a gamble, and I'd probably sell before earnings. I'd probably sell the day of the earnings. Would be.
Realistically, you might make $5 to $10. You might lose $5 to $10.
Maybe. And then, based off of how that trade goes, I may then get in based off of earnings afterward, or at least adjust my position. Let's say that I may take a little bit off, switch it around. I got to look into it more.
Invest in the deli.
And yeah, the deli's actually becoming extremely tempting, honestly. Some of its moves, I'm looking at that deli and I'm like, oh my God. But this thing I don't think it's going to get back to the height, but I mean.
I would have more faith in this than the deli.
Well, here's it rides this 65 or whatever. 65, I think, is the dark yellow, 65-day moving average. It tends to stay above it until even after. It took a while for it to get back below that after the lawsuit, and then it finally fell below, and it's been below for a little while. So it should cross it. So I feel fairly confident that within
a reasonable amount of
time, 71.
But even after the announcement of the lawsuit, they still kept climbing.
What day was the lawsuit?
I believe when we were reading the article, it was like late 2020 when it was being announced, because that's when they were correcting it.
Pretty sure it was 20.
No, because I think it was like December, November or something.
February. Let's see, investor alert. So happened. Here we go. Yep. February 25th. It announced at least this, the law offices of Frank R. Cruz announced on February 25th.
Okay, of this year.
Yeah, 20.
Okay.
So it was already falling, and then it took a dive. That's when it crossed that average rate. It's a risky one.
I mean, just on the 25th alone, it dropped. It looks like about $10.
It's probably not risky over 12 months, and that's what Hamed's thinking. He's like, whatever, I'm betting this thing's going to go up in 12 months, sure.
And again, it's a very good possibility because it's a renewable, energy resource company, which, not being political, I mean, current administration, they're going to be pushing for renewable resources.
For sure.
So yes, that into consideration, and the fact that this is a renewable energy group incorporated, if you have the time to not touch the money and wait it out, it could be. Absolutely, because depending upon what the reportings are, as well as with this lawsuit here in the next, like, what is it, 2 weeks? It either could be a really great time to buy, or it could have been a real bad time to invest.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think it's gonna be a heavy crash. It's just a matter of if it's gonna play around and take forever. You know, I don't think it's gonna keep selling off. I mean, it should though, based off of the Mac Daddy. It is looking at selling off at some point. However, if this plays well, it shouldn't start selling off until the 17th, but it could start selling off now. It could start selling off tomorrow, and that's what I'd hope for a couple of days of it selling off. So that is REGI. I feel like REGI is worth talking about. Next on our list. Oh, this is another fun one. Are you ready for this one?
I mean, I guess.
Dimensional. So it's DFAU. Let's do that one. It's DFAU.
Dimensional U.S. Core Equity Market.
So they are an ETF that I guess specializes in value stocks. Let's take a look, guys. On them.
All right, now just to confirm for everybody as well that is viewing, we did briefly go over ETFs yesterday, but basically an ETF is an exchange traded fund that is a type of security that tracks an index, sector, commodity, and other assets, but which can be purchased or sold on a stock exchange at the same as a regular stock. An ETF can be structured to track anything from the price of an individual commodity to a large, diverse collection of securities. ETFs can be structured to track specific investment strategies as well.
So they also have DFAI and DFA. It's like all of them have done well. And I guess they use like Quant technology or something, and it's value stocks. Let's take a look here. Dimensional.
I mean, TradeView is definitely saying that it's a strong buy right now.
Are they? Okay.
I mean, considering that it's $30 a share, I mean, this one might be a less of a gamble than REGI.
This is definitely less of a gamble than REGI. REGI is for sure more of a gamble. But Hamed can't come out, I don't think, right now and say. I think if he comes out and says this, well,
he's waiting for that. He's waiting for that. That's the stats to up before he can be like, all right, I can either spit on one or something.
He'll get in trouble. They're like, really? Like saying that Tesla is going to go up. Of course it is.
I invested a lot of money in Dogecoin. Fuck you, Elon Musk.
Look at Dogecoin, son of a bitch. Opening up bad wounds here, man.
Hey, you're the one that invested in the joke.
Jeez, it's not a joke. You see the ticker? It's not a joke.
Pennies and nickels, pennies and nickels.
The ticker says it's not a joke.
The Wind Deli is up 8.52%. Yes.
8.5? What? Talk. Is it really? Or is it 0.8?
The ticker says it's 8.25% up.
All right,
I'm telling you, that's the investment right there.
I think it is. I think you may be right.
The mob.
Because it definitely wasn't Coinbase. Another one let me down.
No, this is sandwich and ingredients based and mafia based and anything else crooked, and it's doing well.
Mafia sandwiches. That's
like it is going up even with the owner being arrested.
I think we should call them now. Like, damn it. Should I buy? What's up? Just tell me the truth.
What do you have in your sandwich?
Yeah. Everyone eats a sandwich, and you're like, hey, by the way, if you like the pastrami sandwich, we also got a stock you should invest in. All right, dimensional.
I've seen.
So this is a no-brainer. Sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. Good. All right, on topic. Okay. I'm waiting.
Oh, no, I told you to go ahead. This is I don't know if there's much to talk about. This guy, it's an ETF. They deal in value stocks. Let's see if we can even see what's involved in it. I'm sure it's the U.S. Steel and ExxonMobil and United Airlines. And oh, here we go. Top holdings: Apple, Microsoft. What the hell? I was told this was a value stock.
I mean,
Alphabet, Facebook, Tesla, Johnson and
let's-
Johnson, JP
this
Morgan
kind
and
of seems
Chase.
like the same shit that was in that other one we looked at yesterday. And this one's cheaper.
That's a good point.
Significantly.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, it's way cheaper than SPY, which is doing just fine after yesterday's crisis. Oh no, Biden said something, and all he said is "I'm thinking." That's the same thing. Jerome Powell will come out, the Fed chair will say, "I'm thinking maybe," and the stock just crashes.
I'm thinking.
If he comes straight out and doesn't pause and say, "We're printing money, we're printing money," the stock goes up. If he goes, "Well," stock crashes. That's it. That easy.
I mean, Uber's up 2.93%.
Yeah, no, Uber's down. It may be up for like a little bit, but I'm down in Uber.
Ooh, AMC meme time. Is that like the movie Meme Center?
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I think AMC should just like show memes nonstop, and they should when they make like the Wall Street Bets movie, it should be free. Oh, wait a minute! Oh, hooray! We're finally over. Oh my god, it's been a rough couple of days. I got this before going camping because I figured I'd be fairly safe, and
Uber.
yeah, I planned on it maybe hitting 54. But I was really hoping it wouldn't. I was hoping it would take that top line. So it's staying in the middle of what I thought. So I'm gonna sit back. I just like to. I'm not selling it tomorrow.
Are you willing to share what you bought in at?
Yeah, 57.47.
Okay, so I mean you're basically even right now.
Yeah, basically.
So that's not too bad. I mean, definitely better than when it was at 55 or.
Oh no,
50.
it's yeah. No, it's definitely better. It was I wasn't aware of it. I think yeah. See, last time I looked at it, it was somewhere in this region, and then I stopped paying attention. It looks like it's been doing great since. And that's the thing is I'm holding off on this, and I'm trying everything within my power because if you take a look at the Mac Daddy here, I believe that the Mac Daddy is telling me that it's probably going to keep going down a little bit, maybe, or maybe it corrects and starts going up now. I don't know, but I believe that over the next few days, this thing's going to get back up in the the 60 range, and I'm hoping to let go somewhere around 61. I'll let go at 61 and then try and catch a dip on it again. That's what I do with it.
I mean, honestly, if you want dip, you might as well just go for the deli.
I know.
I mean,
I know. I think you're right. I'm starting to. So here's my fear. My fear is I'm going to buy into the deli, and then the SEC and the FBI and everyone's going to come out, and Biden's going to make a press conference, and they're going to let Trump back on Twitter, and he's going to tweet about it, and they're going to say, "Sorry, anybody who has money in the stock lost the money." What happens? So let's imagine for a minute, because I don't know what happens. Let's imagine that they arrest these people, and they go, "That's it. You're criminal. You did something bad, and this is criminal. You're going to jail." What happens to the actual stock and the people who own the stock?
Now, I think the stock will transfer to whatever prison that they go to, and they'll make sandwiches there.
I mean, the best prison in the system, man. Yeah, good looking cheesesteak. I'm just saying. But what happens to the people with the money? Do they, like the investors? If I invested $1 million right now and they shut down the whole operation, What happens to
You say shut down the whole operation. There's one fucking store and it's been closed most of the last 2 years.
Yeah, but it'd be a process to shut it down, you know? They got to take down
Shut what
folding
down? There's
chairs.
nothing there.
There was like 20 folding chairs, man. Have you ever put away folding chairs?
That they are still active is because they're renting the place out to the local church for bingo or something.
Maybe. I don't know. They're having a local group conference meetings over there. So, all right, let's see what we got next on the list. Dimensional. We covered that. That's good enough. All right, here we go. AMSLF.
Okay.
So.
Oh, the Australian mines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's taken a bit of a drop.
Well, this is just a start of, like, I haven't looked into this. It's on my list to look into, and I put it on my list to talk about it, and I still have to look into it, and so we're looking into it. Let's look at the basics here. So this may not be the winner. In fact, we can go here and AMSLF and see if we can.
I mean, the value of this is so ridiculous.
Oh my God, is this a 1 cent? Okay, never mind. This is not the correct. Why is this on the list? Oh my God, this thing is Dogecoin.
Right?
It's worse. Dogecoin's worth more. Oh my God.
You could sell your Dogecoin even if you lost money and own some Australian mines.
It's like not even on the radar here, too. Is there?
Mic off.
Like the highest point for this right now that I'm looking at in the past couple of months was around like 0.034 cents.
There's these news articles that pop up on here. I guess maybe they're tweets or something, but they're Cobalt Miners news for the month of March 2021, and they're involved in that. There's no list of the actual news, but there's a couple more. Okay, here we go. Let's look at who the big daddy is in this group, and this should be, I think we're looking at the same thing. We'll see if they're in Australia or not, because remember, hold me to it so I don't forget. The key here is that they have to be in Australia. So we're looking at BBL. Don't tell me what it stands for.
BBL?
BBL, yeah. So BBL is who we're
for the
looking at.
BHP group?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, whoa. I'm looking at the wrong.
Non-energy minerals?
Yeah. So are they based out of Australia? Because that's key in this whole thing. Nope. Yep. Wait. Okay. Principality in Australia and the Gulf of Mexico. Onshore U.S. oil and gas assets were sold in 2018. Okay, good. So the key is, you got to do a little bit more research, and I'll look into this one. This is their alternative note here. So
their alternative to what? I mean, if they're associated with that pennies, like less than pennies on the dollar company, I mean, let's buy that company. No.
I know, right? Basically, you want to own.
I'm going to give you $5 for 50% of your company.
you want to own a failing Australian miner? Because that's.
Hey, you know what? Failing or not, at least I can just be like, "What's your net worth?" I'm worthless. I have a mine in Australia.
I bought an Australian mine, and now I owe money. I'm in debt to some people who own a deli. So Australia is supposed to be, let me see if I got this right, and this was off Bloomberg or some nonsense. I don't know where I found this, but basically what's going on is America's going left, right? And green energy and EV and happy, good time, fun time, right? Meanwhile, Australia is going like full blown, let's dig. You know, I know that the whole country's on fire, half of it. It was half. It wasn't even a full half of the country was on fire just like a couple of years ago.
It was a pretty good amount of it.
It was a lot, and then a disease ravaged, and whatever.
Like they've been dealing with floods lately too, though.
Have they?
Like
Oh, that
Australia's
sucks.
been getting fucked.
Well,
Like,
maybe it'll make it easier to dig because the
I
soil's been
mean,
soft.
maybe.
So maybe that's why the spike today. I don't
Or
know.
harder to burn. I mean, who knows?
Hopefully. So that's the goal is. Let's see if there's some news on this one. See if this one pops in any. Recent strength in copper and iron ore prices, so that's not why. General corporate statement, don't care. Don't move to cash or you'll regret it. Oh my God, that's all that news article says. And then it points out 5 stocks. 5 stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this from? What the hell, Benzinga? It's from a partner site. Okay, who's the partner site? It doesn't say, it just says don't move to cash or you'll regret it. Are you talking to me? What the hell?
That's the guy that owns the deli. He's telling you, don't move or you'll regret it.
Oh my God, that's scary. I feel like that's kind of threatening. I just want to.
It does seem a bit threatening.
Feels like
but
it.
Considering moving to cash, like US no longer has, gold to back their currency. Maybe Australia currently does still have minerals of something to back their currency. And maybe that's what it's referencing. Who knows? I don't know. I do feel threatened. I might need to go cry in the corner for a moment, but
I wouldn't blame you.
Otherwise.
So nobody's saying to buy this one, and it was on my list. Here's the plan. Here's the idea. Here's the thought process.
All right, throw it out there.
That's what it is. There's an ETF that's being started. Okay. All right. Now it's coming back to me. Now it's all coming back to me. Bain Capital. How do you spell that? No, it's BAIN Capital, right? Yeah. Bain Capital, Australia, minor ETF, minerals ETF. There we go. Okay. Asia Pacific, Bain.com. There we go. Asia Pacific private equity. Oh, yeah. Okay. Private equity. When is this? March 11th. So it's an investment in China plunge, but some markets remain buoyant. Asia Pacific slumps. Blah blah blah. It's a lot of reading. I'll have to look into it later. The point is that.
Hold on. The picture in the background, is that on fire or is that lights? Like what? What the fuck?
Holy shit! Bain Capital burning down the world, one investment at a time.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with this. So this is the idea, right? That this is not a conscious man's investment. This is, and that does look like fire.
Right? Like whoever the hell was fucking around with Photoshop really did a piss poor job in some sections.
Or a really good job.
Or a really good job if this is the message that they wanted to convey. You'll regret it.
Oh yeah. Don't put your money in cash, you'll regret it. Burn, baby. Domestic factors. This was Yahoo's good. Nope. Creditors approve airlines purchase. No. News. Some news. Can sort by the date. Nope. Nope. Okay, whatever. And I'll look into it more and find it. There's an ETF. Bain Capital is one of the investors. There's a couple other. It's like 200 million or billion or some crazy number. These guys are all like spending some money, and they're going to invest in this ETF. And maybe it's not the best thing for the world, but it's supposed to be possibly going to go through because Australia is like, fuck it, we don't care about the environment. We're going to mine anyways. So that would be the...
So basically they're hoping and betting that, oh yeah, they don't care. They're going to do this. And do you assume that that's how they're attempting to attract investors in this ETF?
No. No. So here's my thought process on it. Is Bain Capital doesn't like to lose money, and if they are getting involved in this ETF, which so far I've given no good information to help our viewers. So if anybody watches this video, I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
It's okay. I consider him to be worthless too, guys.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But so if they're interested in getting involved in this, what the hell? I just click on the button and what does it do? It doesn't do anything. Sorry, I'm perplexed by their website. So if they're going to be investing along with some other major companies in an ETF that is centered around Australian minerals and mining, then those companies that they'll have in that bucket should be companies like, I would assume, BBL and maybe even AMSLF.
No, we're going to end up seeing probably Apple, Microsoft, Tesla.
I think you're right. Yeah, we're into Australian mining, so we're putting all of our money in Apple. It probably has something to do with
I
it.
mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, so that's the that was the thought process on that stock. I just pulled up Australian Miner and it pulled up Australian Miners and Steel and found the ticker and it's like, oh, I'll look into this, but I'll do it during the stream instead of doing it beforehand, and that's what happens when you do that. You find what was that, a $1.50? That thing's gone. That's about to get delisted. Right? Unless it's about to get saved by Bain Capital.
I mean, somebody could step in and buy it. I mean, again, if you have the money and you have the resources to make it successful, right now's a good time to invest in owning it.
God,
but that would be one hell of a risk, especially like, for instance, someone imagine a position like ourselves. Sure, I'll buy the company because it's less than pennies on the dollar. But then I don't have any way to travel to Australia to make sure the company's actually doing their job.
For all you know, it's a deli.
Yeah, right. This is the one that the guy was actually associated with, which is why the Hwin has not had much of a drive.
They're just sitting there like, yeah, we're mining. He's eating a sandwich. He's like, yeah.
How come you only got 2 workers? Oh, these minerals, they're easy to get. I mean,
it's insane. How is this on this list? Stocks ahead of 52-week low on Friday. Oh, that's how it's on that list. Yeah, it sure did. All right, so yeah. Keep in mind, I need to do a little bit more research on this and we can come back to this at another time. But if this is true, if Bain Capital, and it was a few names, just the one that I remember off the top of my head, he's way too happy. Whatever they said to him, and she's like, oh, no, he didn't. If they really are investing all this money into an ETF that is centered around Australian miners, I have to assume that it's going to do decent, right? I mean,
hypothetically, yes, it should, based off of their previous investments and what that company likes to represent. Because, I mean, what company doesn't like money, but what company doesn't like money that actually has history of making money?
I don't know.
Would probably be the question. So, I mean, moving on, because
we got to wait for the video.
Okay.
This is the Bain Capital video.
The marble thing?
Yeah, this is their promo.
That part with our clients every step of the way. We help them see their future in a new light.
That's right.
Opportunities they may never have imagined.
Whoa, everybody stop. I'm leading the way here. The red ball is Bain Capital.
Aspiration meets innovation.
Follow me, guys. Come on. We're going up here to Australia.
This is a really shitty promo.
Yeah, but it's a really great effect. You think like whoever made it was related to somebody there? You know, like somebody's cousin or something. Like, come on, just give him a job.
Their kid.
Kid, whatever. They're like, come on, man. Let him make the video. Who cares? Ahmed approves. What's up? All right, moving on. Okay, so Australian miners, we'll look into that later. Okay, SoftBank, SFTBY. They make robots.
I hate robots.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't hate you too when they take over the world.
I mean, we'll find out, huh?
All right, let's see. SoftBank is a Japan-based telecom and e-commerce conglomerate that has expanded mainly through acquisitions, and its key assets include 28% stake in the Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba, which is BABA,
Wow.
the stock for that. A 40% owned mobile and fixed broadband telecom operator business in Japan. It also owns 75% semiconductor chip designer ARM Holdings, ARM, although has agreed to sell this and is waiting on regulatory approvals and has a vast portfolio of mainly internet and e-commerce focused early stage investments. It is also general partner of the $100 billion SoftBank Vision Fund 1 and sole investor in SoftBank Vision Fund 2, both of which primarily invest in pre-IPO internet companies. They don't tell you is that building robots.
Or the fact that they're investing in these internet providers because they want to be able to access the data on what you're searching in order for them to know what they need to invest in going forward.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
This is why you need a VPN.
Yeah. I don't know if you could put a VPN on your robot though. So I find out about this a few years ago. Look, I find out about this. I'm looking them into robots, and I'm like, what the hell?
Like a few years ago, are we mentioning just a couple years ago, or back when iRobot came out? Like what few years ago are we talking about here?
I don't know, somewhere between 2014 and 2018, I guess it looks like.
All right, let me figure this out.
So
weighs just 62 pounds.
This is Pepper the robot and somebody's thing on it, but this is this little robot, this little thing right here, just robbing somebody. Obviously, give me your money, bitch. So Pepper the robot, which is this weird ass little robot that rolls around and has the potential to do many things. It's able to register your like when you're sad, what's that called? Facial expressions?
Emotions?
Yeah.
Facial expressions, definitely.
I'm not very familiar with
them. But can it get me a beer from the fridge?
Yes.
Oh, all right. They're on the right track.
Okay,
can
so
it
maybe not.
Make a sandwich.
Maybe not. So here's my understanding of Pepper the robot and how it works, and I haven't heard shit about it, which scares me. I need to research it a little bit more. So Pepper the robot, if it can't get you a beer, let's say it can do something else. All the Pepper the robots are all tied together. So when you teach it how to get you a beer, all of them know how to get everyone a beer.
That's bullshit. So you're telling me if I get one of these things and I teach it how to swear, like when Furbies came out,
yeah,
all the Pepper the robots are going to start swearing at their own.
Not necessarily, but they'll know how.
Oh, come on. Where's the fun in that? But you bet you a hacker would teach them how to swear directly.
Or what if the owner, what if Jack Ma goes off his lid and decides to, become a supervillain and take an army of these cute little robots?
Go get a pound of, Colorado's finest and hang out with Elon Musk, and they just want to have fun with people's emotions.
Yeah. All right.
But so my question is, where the fuck is the camera that's on this thing? Because in
his head,
that it's got to be sending. Yeah, I'm assuming, and it's got to be sending this feed back to some database. So it's a complete invasion of privacy as well.
Yeah, that's why I said you need a VPN for your robot, because this robot. So I told my wife we were going to get one of these. When I first found out about this, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, don't worry. We're going to teach it to learn how to do the dishes, do the laundry. You're going to love it. And my wife is not, she's not a what is it, a technophobe when you don't like stuff like that? But let's say that she has like a hate relationship with Alexa, you know? Like Alexa doesn't listen to her for some reason, but listens to me perfectly well. And
Yeah.
I'm constantly like, don't worry, don't listen to her, Alexa. You know, please don't kill me when you get a body.
You gotta go up to Alexa and be like, Alexa, play horror music at 3 a.m.
That's beautiful. Oh, I'm so gonna do that. I'm not gonna do it at 3 a.m., but I am gonna do it tonight. I am gonna, yes.
10 p.m., whatever.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It may wake the kids up. I may get a scream out of this one. It may wake the kids up, but it's gonna happen. So Pepper the robot, or Peppa the robot, it depends on if you're British or not, I guess.
Nah, Peppa the pig's already taken.
Oh, okay.
Anywho.
Peppa the, oh yeah, so Peppa the robot is connected to Skynet, basically. And all of these robots
associated with Elon Musk
are communicating with the main AI, which is one. It is one AI. All of these robots, it's one.
It honestly sounds like the plot for iRobot.
It kind of.
I mean, like word for word right now. It sounds like the plot for iRobot. Continue.
So it's gonna take over. I don't know. I guess that's basically it. It's connected with SoftBank, and look at all these things. There's millions of them.
The game Detroit Becoming Human.
Yes, I believe I own that, and I didn't finish it. Or you know what? Actually, I just got the trial for that, and I ended up getting Death Stranding instead, which was a lot of fun. I need to finish it, and then I'm gonna get Detroit Becoming Human. That's next on my list.
Just to clarify, though, Detroit Becoming Human is all about robots basically learning to think for themselves.
Right. And that's what this robot
Pepper Parlor.
Is. Yeah, look, she's freaked out. What happened? Why is this chick freaked out about this robot?
We ordered our
She ordered a drink.
We ordered our drinks before being.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess she's surprised that the robot it could order your drink, it could carry it to you. But the beautiful thing about it is you could like teach it to do things, like write a little, code for it.
That's fine, but that goes back to that situation with Walmart and them having those robots where, the ones that clean the floor that are self-sufficient after someone teaches it. So basically that employee, once they teach it, that employee's gone.
Yeah. So once the humans teach Pepper the robot, the humans are gone. Walmart, by the way. So Walmart on the news yesterday, I think it was, I saw the news. It was after we did that video. Walmart is actually getting rid of its entire robot fleet.
Wow. Is it because Bossa Nova sucks?
No, because they had multiple things. I think it's, once again, it has to do with employment numbers, unemployment, and the coronavirus. Tinfoil hat, no tinfoil hat. The robot uprising is gonna come. At least, they take our jobs.
Pepper's gonna be their fucking leader.
Pepper will be. Nobody knows about Pepper. Everyone talks about the Honda robot and the Walmart and all these other robots, but meanwhile, SoftBank bought out this Norwegian company. It's some Pepper the robot's made out of some company out of Switzerland or some nonsense. They buy this company out. They're making these robots, and they're like, we're going to sell these things. Get this. We're going to sell them out of our T-Mobile stores.
Shit.
Now, keep in mind, now here's the thing, right? And they're going to sell them. Guess how much they were going to sell these things for? I may be off by a couple bucks, but I'm pretty close.
I mean, I'm hoping it's a decent cost.
Take a guess.
I mean, it's obviously got to be more than an iPhone. So you're probably,
I don't know.
I don't know. You're probably looking at like maybe. I mean, it's really hard to put a number on something like this because I don't know like what it takes to build it. But I mean, I would probably value it anywhere from small to mid-sized cars, so anywhere from 5 to 15,000, maybe.
$1,800.
That's way too fucking cheap.
So $1,800.
Like, depending upon where you go, that's the cost of a fucking iPhone.
Yeah. It's
No.
slightly more than a brand new cell phone, maybe the cost of 2 cell phones, right? And once again, this robot has to communicate with home base. You know what that means? It needs a SIM card.
T-Mobile. So yeah, like it has its own cellular signal.
Yes, which means you need to buy a subscription. You have to buy service for it. So they just got an extra line as well. Tons of data because it's all data.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Extra line. The insurance.
Yeah.
In case something happens. And man, if you don't have an unlimited data plan, like maybe for those specifically, it's designed to have an unlimited data plan because you have to have the data for that.
It's definitely going to have an unlimited upload plan. I guarantee that. They may charge for downloads, but they're not charging for uploads. They want every single bit, every little.
You see, this goes back to like when the 3D TVs first started coming out, right? Excuse me. And Samsung had to start adding disclaimers to their TVs because the mic that they built in for you to use for the search features was recording everything. It wouldn't shut off.
Have you ever watched that show, Succession?
I don't believe so.
It's a pretty funny show. There's a scene in it where he gets up and one of the guys is about to give a speech, and like the tagline for the company is whatever the name of the company is, we're listening. And right before he goes up, he's like, wait, you can't. It turns out we actually are listening through the device, like aggressively. So he changed it to we hear with you or something.
We're here for you. We hear with you.
we hear you. We hear with you. We hear something like, I don't know, something stupid. But anyways.
But still, like it.
But yep. It's all listening. Everything's listening. Look, what's the word? The cautious
Watergate
trepidation or whatever, the cautiousness that we have, whatever. It's not going to be like that in the future. Our kids aren't going to care that everything's listening to them. In fact, they're going to be glad that it's listening to them. Especially, and I hate saying this because I'm a big, anti-tech person who's also a tech person. Weird. But there's a point where I'm like, this is invasion of privacy. And then there's a point of, I'm sick and tired of getting commercials that don't pertain to me. Now, I get commercials that are way too fucking good. You know? Like, I get commercials and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'll go into debt for that.
Here's the funny thing about those commercials, though. So the way Facebook works is that people on your friends list, you will also start to get commercials for things they view.
Oh, great.
So when the missus started getting advertisements for fucking sex toys.
Oh, no. Oh, so that's the excuse that it's from someone else.
What? But like, I mean, like full on, like she was trying to figure this out because she wasn't like looking at these things. And one of her other friends were like, yeah, I've been getting a lot of advertisements for these as well. And then another one was like, yeah, I have been as well. And then one of their friends was having one of those, what the fuck are those? Like a Mary Kay party, but like women's like
a sex party. It's called a sex party.
Basically.
They were having an orgy.
Know what the hell it's called. Well, no, like
a pillow fight.
The person comes with all the stuff and sells it to a bunch of ladies at a home.
That's called a drug dealer.
Was sending out invitations for people to go to this, and I guess that's what started it or something. I'm not entirely too sure, but I find it funny because like I'll go on like Facebook Marketplace and I'll like look at like a camera or something just because I want to see if there's any like decent price. No, just because I want to see if there's any decent price cameras. But then I'll turn around and I'll hop onto YouTube, and then the fucking commercial on YouTube is about new cameras, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're retargeting. It's going across, and I mean they'll listen in on your phones. Like it's happening. It's been happening, and I was against it for a long time, but it's just another one of those things of like it's too late. It's like people who complain about the virus has a chip from what's his name? Bill Gates. Bill Gates put a chip in my virus, right? So he can track me. And I'm going to post about that on my phone. Like you've been tracked. Everyone's been tracked. We keep it right on us at all times. It's okay. It's over. Privacy's gone. It's over. Give up on it. We gotta try something else. But here's the...
In case you didn't catch where I live at 1600 West Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.
And I like sex toy.
Just come and knock. Make sure you bring your party supplies.
Yeah. After you climb the fence that was so bad for them to make it around the White House that I'm pretty sure they didn't tear down. In fact, they think they built it up more because that's our new life that we live in. But I'm getting political. It's a pendulum. It's just a pendulum. Both sides, man, just as crazy as the other. All right, so Walmart is eliminating the vast automated pickup towers at 1,500 stores to deliver online orders, reflecting a growing focus on curbside pickup services and withdrawal from store automation initiatives. So Walmart started to remove... You've seen those things, those big things in Walmart?
Again, no, not up here.
Okay, it's like a big... I guess it's
like I remember the pictures and stuff that we pulled up last time, but they definitely did not have them up here. However, if they're eliminating like those specific features, like for instance, when you mentioned the store that they had that was completely autonomous,
Target had that, not Walmart.
Okay, it's Target. Okay, whatever. But realistically, if they set their store up, like one of them, to where it is just curbside pickup, as an example, the upkeep for that store would be so much cheaper because there wouldn't be nearly as much travel on the floors.
Yep.
There wouldn't be a huge mess to continuously clean up from people walking around in the store. They would have less shrinkage because there would be no more theft unless the employees are doing it, which that would really suck.
Probably the majority, but yeah.
Yeah, good possibility. So, I mean, I can see the benefits because, one, it keeps the jobs, it prevents COVID, among other diseases, and it's convenient.
It'll reduce.
You just pull up, you just grab what you need, and you go.
It'll reduce jobs, for sure.
Well,
but it won't. But it doesn't get rid of all the jobs. So that's the other thing. It's a scale down. Like they
just need to give Walmart a fucking drive-through.
Basically, it's probably what's good. They're going to move to shipping. They've been trying to fight with Amazon for so long to get into they bought that company to use for their website for online deals. I've dealt with Walmart. It's a bit of a hassle, but so they get rid of these machines. They get rid of customers preferred pickup towers, whatever. Last year, they stopped using the Bossa Nova robots, the aisle moving, the inventory tracking. They ramped up online grocery curbside pickup. The pandemic accelerated. So this comes out, what is this? April 22nd, so yesterday. But it's not just that it comes out yesterday. It's I guess this is a good time to get into the next one, Amazon. So I believe these things are related to some degree. All this, we're back on robots. They're all related though. So Amazon recently had, I think it was Alabama or something like that. I don't know if you know, but they tried to unionize over there.
That's kind of surprising.
Right? So they come out and they're like, hey, we want better stuff. And I don't know, I think Amazon was kind of like, no, like you've already got it good and we'll try and work with you. But if you unionize, we'll go to war, bro. And it failed, right? So, okay, so real quick. So my favorite stock, of course, is General Motors, right? That's my favorite. Now, if I'm at a General Motors plant and I work there, odds are, like, if I were to go to General Motors right now and be like, hey, let me help build some cars, they'd probably tell me to go to hell. I don't know how to build a car. I don't know what, maybe some other people do, but I have to assume that it's more of a niche thing, you know? Like, not everybody knows how to build these cars.
Yeah, but these days you don't have to. You just have to be a machinist.
Okay, well, I'm not a machinist. I don't know how to do
Well,
that.
By definition, basically, you have to know how to work the specific machine or push the buttons. But yes, you don't know how to do that because it's a machine that puts the cars together these days.
Okay.
Like there's the small parts that are still done by human, but the rest of it's all the automated machines.
So my point, and this is going to sound a little harsh. Once again, I'm a hippie and I care about people and the environment and puppies. Okay?
Yeah,
I do.
Fuck the environment. Wait, what?
Wait, hey. Now, I put on my trading hat real quick and it's like, fuck the environment. I don't care. Make me money. Right?
Yeah, I'm buying that Australian mine.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get into the Australian mining, even though it's the impending doom of the world is hinged on this shit. You know, whatever. We got a couple days left. We might as well just go ahead and make some money.
I mean,
in the process.
it could be funny,
It could. So Amazon's got some people, and I assume that the majority of the people at this place where they're trying to unionize, and I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that the majority of the people there stock shelves.
I mean, if they're at an Amazon warehouse, that is what I would assume as well, because they actually just built one like a half an hour away from me.
Okay.
And essentially they're stocking inventory and then they are putting orders together and then shipping it out.
Okay.
So it's just a regular, warehouse job.
So two stories. One story, picture this. A bunch of people at General Motors who have to at least know how to press the right buttons for the robot, right? Stand up and go, hell no, we won't go, pay us Mo, or we're hitting the dough. Bo show, right? And then the other one is a bunch of people who stock shelves and stand up to Jeff Bezos and go, we're going to unionize. We want more stuff, more money, more pee breaks. We want a pee break. We just want to be able to take a piss and not get docked or fired, please. And he's like, no. And they're like, if you don't give us this, we're all going to walk. We're unionizing and we'll walk. And he's like, okay, walk. Because he can just hire, and once again, it's not to slight anybody, but I assume that the labor pool that can handle that job is far greater. And there's probably, with current unemployment rates, a large amount of people that would probably be like, yeah, no, I'll take that job right now. I'd love that job. You know
shit,
what I mean?
all you can do $2 less an hour.
Yeah. Right?
That's probably...
So it failed. They were unable to unionize. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's interesting considering Biden's the president. He's like pro-union and all this stuff. But what else is interesting about it is Amazon's robots. I don't know if you've seen their robots.
Not offhand.
I
mean, I've seen their drones.
Oh,
that they were using for the deliveries that they were trying to get approved. But as far as like the robots that they potentially use for like stocking.
There you go. Look at this. I don't know if you can see that video yet, but so this is Amazon's workers. You can't, now I'm sure the people who handle these robots, they would have an opportunity to potentially unionize. I also assume that a lot of the people who handle these robots can be anywhere in the world and just remotely tie in to fix software. And then you need some hardware people on site, but like you don't want to fight this because they're not going to have people worrying about, and it's understandable, right? When Amazon is looking at the situation going, no, you don't get to go to the bathroom, because if you keep going to the bathroom, we're going to replace you with one of these robots that never sleeps. You see this shit, right?
I'm watching it.
It's 2016.
Wow.
Even updated. That person has a job. There we go. She's stocking. She's got to stock the shelves so that the rolling cart.
You know what person
runs.
has a job too? Whoever has to make sure that the batteries are charged on these robots.
For now, sure. And
now,
this person stocking the shelf and pushing the button. But how long until? Oh my God, look at that thing! Like, how long until that's automated too? Like, it's not. Everyone says, "Oh, the robots, don't worry." You know, sure, one robot replaces, 10, 20 people, but we're going to make new jobs for those 10, 20 people. Really? Where? How? Doing what? Fixing the robots? Why would they buy a robot that replaces one person to have to hire a new person and have to pay for the robot? That's not what's happening. You buy a robot because it replaces, 3 people, 2 people, 5 people, 20 people.
There's generally a specific cost-effective reason as to why. So yeah, I could see it.
So it's funny that they try to unionize, and I'm not saying this is the warehouse they work in or that they're using this type of setup, but they have proven if this isn't in all the warehouses, they can do it. I don't know why it wouldn't be, other than the fact that they also need to make sure that unemployment doesn't go through, the roof, because if they, I don't know, if they replace all the workers, who's going to buy the stuff?
But here's something too, though. It's like with Amazon, they own Whole Foods,
and
Whole Foods has great food. It can be pricey, absolutely, but it has great food. And have you ever seen the Amazon libraries?
No.
So they have one in Portland that they were testing out for a while, basically making it like a walk-in Kindle store. If you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can walk in, you can check out a book, you can leave, or you can stay there, hit up the coffee shop that's there, read. They basically took an old I think it was an old opera house movie theater. So okay. They completely filled it with the books and the places to sit, and again, obviously, you could get this same feature just going to a public library. However, you already have an Amazon Prime membership for the most part.
Sure, who doesn't?
So, why not, look at it? And it just, I don't know, it was just super, super, super convenient. But one of the missus's friends works for Amazon and actually got to go and test it. This was a couple of years back, so I'm not sure if it's still open or if it had success. But when it was available, it was definitely an interesting layout.
That's an interesting idea. Once again, another setup that doesn't require any employees.
Here's the positive for it as well, though. Amazon, with all of their little facilities, make it to where you can go and pick up your item if available, rather than having it shipped and waiting the 2 days. So if they do these brick and mortars and keep some of the stock there, they could just make it to where you pick up there. And because they have that brick and mortar store, you now are going to be browsing through that store while you're waiting for the associate to get your order, or just because you have the extra time before your order is ready to be picked up. So it's a great marketing strategy, but at the same time, because you have that membership, you're able to basically borrow the book and bring it back especially if it's a book that was available, for instance, on Kindle. So it's really, really, really neat that even with the robots with Walmart and the robots with Amazon and these people having that failed attempt at unionizing, it makes sense because Amazon has plans, and their plans definitely do not involve wasting time or money on unions.
Yeah,
they don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not there. But if Amazon was ever in a good spot, honestly, they are one of those companies that I would invest in because it honestly can continue to do well for quite a while.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. It's interesting that he loses the I don't know. He did an investor letter. Jeff Bezos did as he stepped down from the CEO or chairman or whatever, CEO, and he did this investor letter, and it was just so. I mean, it sounded good, but you could hear that he was so disconnected from reality. I mean, there was comments in it like, we let our, like defending the accusations of the people trying to unionize, like we let them take breaks. They get a 30-minute lunch and they get 30-minute breaks throughout the day. Look, I probably slack off more than the average bear. Okay. But 8 hours, can you imagine? I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. And I know it's happened, and I know it happens, and I know it used to happen years ago. I can never imagine ever again in my life working 8 hours and having like 2 breaks throughout that day. Like, if I'm getting up,
3. You have your
3.
First 15, you have your lunch that's 30, and your next 15.
Hell no.
And a lot of companies are even making it to where you have your first 15, you have an hour lunch, and then you have another 15, but then your shift also goes up to a 9-hour shift rather than an 8-hour shift.
Yeah, exactly. It's 9 hours. Exactly. I just can't imagine that. I don't know. But the way he said
it's common. It's common practice, though.
So, but the way he said it was, this is what was weird, is he goes, first he says that, like that's something special. He's like, what? They get a half an hour lunch and they get like 30 more minutes and breaks. And I'm thinking that's gotta be like federal law, probably. That seems like the bare minimum that anybody should get doing anything. And it also seems not unhealthy for the person, definitely unhealthy for the person, but not healthy for performance.
You have to work, if you work a 4-hour shift, you're required 1 break, 1 50-minute break. If you work more than 5 hours, you're required a 30-minute lunch. And if you work the 8 hours, then you're required 2 breaks and a lunch. If you work 12 hours, you're required an additional break, but you still only get 1 lunch.
Yeah, see, I'm from sales. So I'm of the mindset of, look, this is the performance I want. Give me the performance and go home. I don't care. I'll pay you for the day. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care if you work 5 minutes. If you get done what I need, what I'm budgeting for 8 hours.
You're a closer, and I want you to close because then I'm going to pay you for the day, and you're only going to have to work a half an hour.
Yeah. And you know what the real closers do? They keep working anyways.
That promotes happy work environments.
That promotes
We're not
closers.
about happy work environments in
I
the
don't
US.
care if they're happy. I don't care if they're happy. I want performance. It promotes performance. But maybe it doesn't promote performance in stocking warehouse. But that's the thing. So here's what he says. He says the break thing, and then he goes on to say, we do performance metrics based off of, a few different metrics of what your skill level's at, what your pay grade is at probably, or whatever he said, and based off of the time you've been with the company, that sets a performance mark, and then you can go take a break if you want, as long as you make your performance, which is like, when I read it, I think, hey, that's my mindset. That makes sense. And then I think, wait a minute. He's saying that, and I believe that, but it sounds to me like people are working 15, 30 minutes past their time to make those performance metrics, or they're going to get docked. or demoted.
It makes sense. So taking into consideration this, I mean, this didn't necessarily involve working additional time, but Best Buy had the same issue years ago. One of the procedures that Best Buy does with their employees is they would have their shrink officer essentially pat them down to make sure that they did not have product on them when they were leaving at the end of their shift.
Like everybody?
At the end of the night. Everybody. They would pat down every associate and the manager, and then the manager would then have to pat down the shrink officer to make sure. It ended up creating a lawsuit because Best Buy was not paying the employees for this additional time, and it was adding typically an additional 15 to 30 minutes a shift because you had to wait your turn to basically be searched. And they also searched women's bags and even, for instance, guys' backpacks if you brought one, to make sure you're not stealing the product.
See, this is a good example of stupidity. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Right? This is a good example of you run an organization, right? I run an organization, I got 10 people, right? And I look at my, shrinkage, right? And identify that it's probably coming from my employees, just like I was joking about earlier with Walmart, that probably the theft's coming from the employees. Why? Why is it coming from the employees? And then what's the solution? So the goal is you have shrinkage, right? And you got this number. You want to reduce this number. And so how do you reduce this number? Well, we're getting, say, $1,000 a month stolen from us. So we'll spend $200 or $300 or even $999 to reduce it. We'll spend as little as we have to, but the goal is we'll try and reduce it at a lower cost than what we're paying for. That's all they're looking at. Meanwhile, now you're searching people. And like I said, I haven't been in retail. I don't know if I ever worked retail, but I might have. I'm sure I did. I've done a lot of stuff. I was a cab driver for 3 days. That's not retail, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. Like I did that once. It was fun. Anyways, if somebody was searching me every day, okay, I'm going to say this a different way. This is my belief, and maybe it's because I'm crazy. If you put a stop sign up in a neighborhood that says that you have to go a certain speed limit, now that may work, right? Maybe people are going too fast and you got to put it up. But if you put a stop sign up for speeding, you will have to write speeding tickets. And people will speed. There's a line somewhere between treating a human being a certain way and causing criminal behavior because you've made a law against it. There is a line, and I know this has got to be true. There's got to be a lot of Best Buy employees that weren't stealing that started getting searched every day and said, "Oh, okay, so that's how it is. You're going to treat me like I'm a criminal anyways. I'm just not going to carry it out with me. I'm going to hand it to Joe when he comes to get a TV. I'm going to give it 50% off or whatever." I don't know, whatever kind of tricks that somebody, in that business could run. But if you treat somebody like a criminal, if you treat somebody like a liar, they're going to lie to you. You treat somebody like a criminal, they're going to commit crime, It just seems like such a really stupid fucking idea to do to somebody.
It is. And the sad truth of it is that there is a lot of shrinkage and retail companies like that happen because of their employees, which, yeah, that's going to be a huge factor in why these companies are wanting to move autonomous, why they're wanting to have more features that are, less employees, because it's less risk to them. Because, for instance, I've met some idiots that used to work at Walmart, and I will say idiots with a straight face because they're like, "Oh, yeah, I used to have my boyfriend or my girlfriend come in and steal from them all the time." And I'm like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because as an employee, we're not allowed to stop you or question you."
That's not a justification for theft.
Even if we see it, we can't do anything. I'm just like, that's still illegal. What?
Yeah, right. It's still
what
wrong.
the fuck is wrong with you? You work for the deli. No.
No, those guys are probably more on the up and up than.
Yeah, no, those guys are more legit. Yeah.
So, but that's the fight, right? That's the fight. You have this fight between. You have that fight going on. Then you have the other fight that also allows the robots, which is there's no labor laws on robots. You can work them as long as you want, as hard as you want. You can work them until they die.
But do we want
robot rights?
Do we want rights for robots? That's
why we don't want to give them personalities like Pepper the robot. That robot has a personality. It's supposed to be all cute and like, you're sad. Why are you sad? Would you like a coffee? It's only $9.99. I'll give it to you on discount, $7 because you're sad. You know, and then I'll teach all the other robots to do that exact same trick. The SoftBank Skynet. You know, so Amazon, right, is looking at this, and Walmart's looking at this, and Amazon and Walmart are like arch nemesis, you know, and like
I mean, I still feel as if Amazon's going to continue to blow them out of the water. The only difference is that Walmart has the brick and mortar, but even with the brick and mortar, Amazon is still outperforming them.
Yeah, okay, but so Amazon could have had the brick and mortar if they wanted it to. And
absolutely.
They could have taken Sears.
Yes. But
and not just Sears, they could have taken the existing properties of Sears in the bankruptcy.
Sears, right? Kmart, you know, all of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, all the Sears Essentials and all the Kmarts, they could have just taken all those out. Like I think there's still Kmart's places, but I don't know. I haven't seen one in a while. But it wouldn't take much for that, or for them to build. They've got the setup. Like they're able to just look at it. They have these distribution centers that they have a system in place that they just set this stuff up. They put the robots in. They put the call out to the general public and hire a bunch of people who want to unionize and never will be able to. And the fact that they tried to. This is the other thing. This is what. So here's, I guess, where I have one problem. Right, stock wise, I'm all for Amazon. I'm all for Walmart. I'm all for all these companies. They're good investments, right? On a social, side, it's dirty. Makes me feel a little dirty once I close out my windows. But for now, the windows are open. I'm fine with it. When I'm looking to make the trade, that's not a consideration for me at the moment.
Sorry, I mean, who doesn't like dirty money? I mean, no.
The deli does. But they keep a clean kitchen. So
one staff member.
Here's the real question, though. What happened at that Amazon location? So let's think about it, right?
I mean,
me and
are you referencing what happened to get all these employees to collaborate?
Yes.
Okay.
Who did it? Was it Susan from accounting?
It's probably Karen.
Was it Karen? Was there a Karen? Now think about it. Okay, so Karen doesn't seem to have much sense and gets caught on tape all the time doing really dumb shit because she doesn't have the ability to pause and think before acting, right? So I don't think that she conspired this plan. I'm not going with Karen.
Fair enough.
Was it? Who at the Walmart would have had the idea, hey, we should unionize. If we all stand up and say we're not going to work, they'll never be able to stop us. And then went from that point and said, I know someone at the news station that'll pick up this story. Doesn't this all seem a little bit strange to you? I'm not trying to bag on the Amazon workers that work there. I'm guessing that the education level's lower, the income level's lower, the skill level's lower, and this group of people doesn't seem to be the type.
There's a reason that, for instance, with Walmart as an example, it says on the back of their shirt, how may I help you? Because you typically only see it when they're walking away from you and ignoring you.
Does it really say that?
Yes.
That's
and awkward. The situation with any company where it's unionizing, typically it's something, or attempting to unionize, it's typically something that happens over a long period of time. There generally is that, I don't want to say mastermind, but there's that individual that people look to for questions and answers, and
typically, if they're a good influencer, then they could easily get to these individuals. Like it probably was like a mid-level soup that was able to walk around, check in on people, be like, "Hey, we're going to be doing this on this day. Just wanted to see if I got your support. But we're going to do this so that we can better our lives within the company that we like to work for. But we just want to get paid for what we're worth." So I mean, I can see that, but then also like reaching out to the news. I mean, realistically, I feel like that happens with most companies where someone tries to unionize. Like I feel like whoever they're talking to at a specific union is probably the ones that are like, "Oh yeah, if you want to do this and you want to get this union, you need to get these guys involved so that the company can know you're serious."
I think it's the opposite. I think the union guys approached the workers and said, "Hey, you should do this.
Happen.
It's in your best interest."
That really does happen because
and they stand
in order
to gain
to join the union, you have to pay them.
Yeah,
so
that's how they make money, right?
You're not getting additional wages; you're getting the same. The additional amount that you're getting is just going to the union in order for you to continue to get those good benefits.
You're getting additional, but not as much as you can. And so that was also, Jeff's thing in his letter of him, kind of justifying is saying, look, we want to help out and all of our guys are making money. Everyone's making money. Everything's good. But that's where I'm also saying he's disconnected from reality. He's talking about a stock price and comparing it with the unionized workers. Like, hey, if you would have got some stock a while ago, you'd been paid. And they're like, I had to keep the lights on, bitch.
I mean, right?
I'm trying to feed my family, bro, and take a piss break once in a while. And he's like, yeah, but if you would have invested that money in stock instead of baby formula, you'd be doing great. And so it's just a weird scenario. The whole thing seems sketchy to me. But yeah, no, I'm a firm believer. Amazon is far from over. However, will it pull back though? Could it take a nice dive for a little bit? You got the CEOs left.
Realistically, I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because they're still hiring a lot of people. People are still constantly using Amazon, and they're still building more and more shipment facilities. So, like, even if it took a dive, I really don't think it would be a huge dive. Like, it's probably something that could last, like, maybe a week or two, or maybe even a quarter, if that. But I don't see it. I don't see where there would be a huge loss. Now, if it were to take a dip, that would be a great time to invest.
See, that's the other thing too. If it does take a dip, so Amazon currently is, let's see, what, 33.39, right? 33.40 technically, I guess currently.
Okay, so $3,300 a share.
So if it did took a dive, and that dive was, let's say, as bad as its most recent worst fall from grace it had, which was September 28, 2018. It at one point made it all the way down to, what was that? 1285, 1315, somewhere in that range. So it would
basically losing 50% of its value at a minimum.
Right, but at its current rate, if it took that same dive, it's dropping down to 26.53, which isn't even a third. I mean, it's maybe what, 20% decline. So now, okay, so if I'm looking to get into Amazon, which is super pricey, sure.
Oh, super pricey.
Sure, I'm going to get in it and I'm going to hold this thing forever, right? Because that's what I got to do when I put in Amazon. Because how long until it's gonna, let's take its last great rise and say it does the exact same thing as that, all the way from the bottom all the way up to the, nope, it's enough to the tippy top, right? Close enough. So let's say it goes that way. Its potential rise is 33.40 up to 52.61 in October 11th. If it did what it did back in March 20th to September 20th, which is not likely because that was COVID.
True. However, there has still been new strains of COVID that keep popping up that are causing more and more issues. So
That's true.
I mean, there's always that. Wouldn't you want to start the increase from where the decline is
No,
rather
this
than
is two different ways it could go. Just two
okay?
two
Just
different
hypothetical scenarios. Okay.
yeah, two best case, worst case, and it's not best case, worst case, but it's best case, worst case based off of the most recent best case, worst case scenario that I can see. This is not a prediction as to what's going to happen. This is just two things that have happened in the past, and if they happen today, you know, starting tomorrow for some weird reason, because they weren't able to unionize, then maybe that could happen. But even if it takes the worst case dive, it's dropping down. So if I wait for it to go down, yeah, I can buy it cheaper. But geez, I mean, we're talking.
I
maybe...
mean, cheaper, yes, but still, I mean, if you're looking at the average household in the United States, family household, who the hell has an additional $3,000 to just go drop for one share?
Well, you don't. Okay, so here's what you
so-
do. The average. I guess it depends on what you consider average, which is a weird number nowadays too. But here's what you're looking at. You're looking at saying, okay, try and do this without getting biblical, without getting Samuel L. Jackson on here.
Gosh, guys are going to the Bible Belt.
Can we let me there's a number you can call or a website where I can get Samuel L. Jackson to say something for me. I get him to say this for me.
My gosh.
So
it's my birthday.
If you're gonna put in your money, say you got $33.40 in your account right now in your savings, right? And you're not touching that money. It's in your savings. And you know, the average family should have what, I don't know what the average income is, but it used to be $48,000 a year. Divided by 12, that's 4,000. You should have at least 3 months saved up. So the average American supposed to have $12,000 saved up, right?
In a perfect world scenario, sure. Continue.
Sure. So, I mean, there's higher numbers, lower numbers. So it probably does come out somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, so let's call it $12,000. And I got $12,000, and then that is 3.5 shares. So 3 shares of Amazon. And I can put that $12,000 in a mutual fund, or I could have put it into a CDO back in 2007. And, you know, the housing market crashed, and that would have been fun. Or you could put it in Amazon, or you could put it in a bank. Now, maybe you can put that in a bank and you can catch 3.5%, 4%. Small credit union somewhere out in the Midwest or something, or I don't know. Maybe there's some options like that. There's some decent places. Or you can put it in Amazon, and if you're not touching that 12 grand, unless in the event of an emergency, right? Of you losing your job, and that's what that 12 grand is for your 3 months, and let's say that's all your savings is. That's the average, is got to at least have that. Some people have more, right? And you put that money in a bank, and it's going to get you what? 1.5% maybe? So I don't know. I don't want to do compound interest, but 1.5% over the next 3 months, 12 months. What am I getting back?
Okay.
Having that in the bank.
So there's definitely a couple of things, a couple of ways, I guess, to look at it though, because putting it in the bank and only getting, even if you're getting 0.5% in a year, you're still not losing money.
Yeah, that's true. You are not likely to lose that money.
It's not that you're not likely; it's that you're not losing that money.
Okay, so it's insured. Or you could realistically assume that if you put that in Apple or in Amazon, that you'll earn like around 25% over the next year or 2 years, which isn't great. But I would say that's a fairly conservative bet for Amazon, unless the government breaks them out, breaks them up, the stock plummets, it goes to the dirt, and Amazon dies like MySpace. It's possible, right? I mean, all these things could happen, and in the event of that, then you would want to invest in the SPY, right? That's what one of these ETFs that is investing in Apple anyways, or in Amazon anyways. But I would have to say that your money, okay, I guess there's different ways to look at it, but I would not want to have that money sitting in a bank account, in a savings account. That's just me. Not advice to anybody.
No, I understand that, because the whole concept of getting into the stocks and having that extra savings is okay. How can I use this to benefit my family and make more money? That's why people invest.
Yeah,
the problem is being smart about it, and that's why, like, the companies, like with the robots, fuck the robots. No. But
robots
the exception comes in with Amazon, because even though they have the robots for the stocking, it's Amazon. I mean, what do you want me to say about that?
Well, it's going to go. Now, if you put that money in the deli and you lost the money, sure. That's your fault. If you put it in Tesla, now don't get me wrong, I once again love Tesla. Okay? But if you put that money in Tesla, I would say there's a great chance for risk. Amazon, there's a bit of a chance for risk, right? Because they could get broken up. But there's some safe bets that are out there. It's a little weird right now because I say that there is, but each one you can think of a doomsday scenario. ExxonMobil, safe value stock. But at the same time, everything's going to EV and batteries. And if they don't get with the program, maybe it's not a safe stock. Tesla, this guy could tweet some crazy nonsense tomorrow, causing the stock to go insane. So here's a question, I guess, on Tesla. Tesla's a great company. Elon's like a mad genius, super villain or superhero, depending on what time of day it is. And the company does well, the stock does well. But what happens if he got arrested or died in some kind of crazy parachuting venture? Does the company continue to progress the same way it has? I mean, what happened to, SoftBank when what's his name disappeared, when Jack Ma disappeared? I know Alibaba took a hit. SoftBank Group.
Yeah, but most companies, when there's a transfer of a CFO or CEO, and it's not, let's say, a retirement transfer, generally take a hit. But that's because typically there's a negative demeanor into why it was happening.
Disney's still good. So I don't know if you heard about the deal with Disney and Sony right now. Sony's giving Disney a ton of their content to run through their streaming platform. And so you would expect Disney to get a spike on that, and I'm not seeing it. Sorry, completely off base. Something that I remembered and was on my list to take a look at, and so we might as well. Stadium-wide Disney. It's not even. That's odd. They pretty much have all the news. I guess this news is just so common that they decided to skip it for now. Very odd. Anyway, so Disney's got this deal that they're doing with Sony, and in all the news articles you'll hear it's because of Spider-Man. Then they have the full Marvel collection because that's what they're missing, right? Spider-Man, I guess. So
I mean, for the ones that Sony owns, yeah, okay. I mean, because they bought the rights to Spider-Man before Disney bought Marvel. Basically, Sony previously purchased it, which is why all the Spider-Man games are exclusive to PlayStation. But continue.
So let's see here if I can actually find Disney strikes a deal. It is on there. It's okay. It's yesterday. That's why. Must have skimmed right past it. So Disney strikes a deal with Sony. Disney's up a little bit, Sony's up a little bit, and it's a multi-year content licensing deal that gives Disney streaming television rights for Spider-Man and other upcoming Sony movies after their initial runs. Stop it. So it's a pretty big deal because I don't know. Have you used the Disney? Do you have the Disney thing?
Disney Plus?
Yes, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
So Disney is become quite a powerhouse, right? And obviously they're not just Disney Plus. I don't think their parks, I mean, they're going to see a boost after COVID, which I know you said that COVID may not go away, but
I mean, to me, it's going to end up being like the common cold. I honestly just feel like it's going to be more common, like other countries, except more common in the US for people to just walk around with masks. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, even with the scare of COVID, I mean, how much healthier have people been since they were told to fucking stay home and don't be a dirty piece of shit? I mean,
some have been more healthy. That is for sure. Some people eat a lot of eggs. That's what I do. I got chickens, so I eat a lot of eggs. And yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that it's going to come to masks are now just a part of society, which is a little awkward. I'm not a fan of masks, but I wear them. But I've never been a fan of them. But I was wearing, you know what I'm not a fan of without getting too far off? I was wearing masks when there was people walking around wearing lingerie thinking it was a fucking joke. You know what I mean? And now they're wearing lingerie on their face. You know, like, oh, I got to wear a mask here. I don't know if you know, but people did that. And now everyone's wearing masks, and I'm looking at the situation like, okay.
People in your area are fucking stupid.
Not all, not all of them. But it's not just my area. It's everywhere, and it's in your area too. They're out there. They're out there.
No.
They're everywhere.
No.
They're everywhere. But my point is now these people are wearing masks. I'm looking at the situation going, okay, 50% of the country almost is vaccinated. My main fear, you know, wasn't that I was going to get COVID and die. It's that the old people, I didn't want to be responsible for the old people, the vulnerable, you know what I mean? The old people, the doctors, the nurses that got to deal with this. So I did everything in my power. Now I'm like, hey, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's like 5 people that have been in this store in a month. You know, I don't really feel like wearing a mask, you know? And there's some guy looking at me that I know this guy 9 months ago when he was saying that this was some kind of Bill Gates scam that caused 5G towers, was wearing lingerie on his face, is looking at me like, hey, bro, why aren't you wearing your mask? And I'm like, why aren't you now wearing it? What the hell? How is this happening? Anyways, point is, Disney, right? So Disney is going to open up the parks. It's going to happen, right? Even if we are at a point where now, you know, shifting over the next 3 years, 5 years or longer, where we have flu shots once a year, and now we have flu shots and coronavirus shots rotating, say, every 6 months, you know, or maybe it's just every 6 months, because a lot of these vaccines that have come out, the mutations of the virus, they found that, you know, with the regular coronavirus, it lasts for 12 months, but with the mutations, it only lasts for 6 months. So you got to get it again. So, which really sucks if it's a 2-shotter, because now you're taking a shot every 3 months. So hopefully they get the 1 shot down. These guys get vaccinated every 6 months, right? Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people, just like the flu. Not everybody gets vaccinated for the flu, but a lot of people do. You know, they get a CVS, Walgreens, all these places. They get the vaccination, and it happens, and it's just part of life. And they're going to keep wearing masks. But they're going to go see the mouse. They're going to go to Disneyland, which I went to Disney World for the first time ever, like a year or 2 ago, and that place sucks. I don't like it. But the people who go there love that fucking place. The people who are fans of Disney, they love Disney. In fact, I'm afraid that I said something, they may come get me. Like, those people love
I'm not
Disney.
associated with the deli, you're fine.
Yeah, right? So they're going to go to the parks. And on top of that, they got their streaming. They got their merch. They've always been big on merch. They've done merch better than anybody ever has. They're the ultimate, when it comes to merch. And yeah, I got a good feeling about Disney. I have for quite some time, despite all the bullshit. And I think it may be looking like it's a good time. Look, it's pulled back a good amount right here.
See, yeah, I don't know. The fact that Disney has so much to offer, it may not be bad. Because the company's so well established that even if the market shares were to drop, it's not going anywhere. They own fucking everything. I mean, so if we're comparing, do I want to invest in Amazon? Do I want to invest in Disney? I mean, which one do I have the potential to get a little bit more out of? It'd probably be what I'd be looking at. But otherwise, I mean, both of them are probably, getting full use out of robots by now.
I hope Disney upgrades their robots in their parks. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they bought the Peppas,
Oh my God,
no! They just put the little ears.
That's
on
where
the
it starts. Maximum overdrive with robots.
I don't know.
I think it's something just to keep an eye on. I mean, we can like we did with the deli, we can come back and we can look at it later, come the next stream. But otherwise, I mean, I feel like we covered a lot of shit today to kind of make up for yesterday.
We did. I'm gonna give you one more, and then we're gonna. I know you're. We forgot one. Carvana.
Ooh, Carvana.
Carvana.
What's the ticker?
CVNA.
Retail trade specialty stores. What is this?
So Carvana, if you're unfamiliar with them, they have a website that makes online car shopping super easy. So they got these killer looking stores. If you've never seen these stores, Carvana, and it's kind of tied into robots, I guess, is maybe why it was brought up, and that I have it on the list. But this is a Carvana store right here. Oh, come on. I just want the picture. I don't want the article. I just want the picture. There. That's a Carvana store.
Waiting for it to catch up.
Sure. Yeah. And their whole thing is you go on their website and it's like super easy. You go on there, you put in what kind of flavored yogurt you like, and what kind of you like long walks on the beach, and they're like, oh, okay, great, you want this car, and then they sell you a car. So they're tech
and this
company.
Is automated.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, it's like a vending machine for cars.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. It's it's bigger than a normal soda machine, but yeah, but you buy it online, through their app. You use their app and you buy it, and then you just go up there and you just get it. You don't have to deal with the salesman. So it's automation in a sense, eliminating jobs, which is great, right? And it's great eliminating sales. There's some tricky sales guys out there. They got some moves. So anyways, that is Carvana, and I'm just bringing it up because it's along the same theme of a company eliminating jobs, which eliminates costs and eliminates regulation and allows them to be able to produce more than they normally would, which should therein make them an effective, successful company. Maybe something you might want to invest in. I don't think I'm interested in investing in it. However, MacD says that I shouldn't right now, even if I was going to. Maybe not. Oh, so that's maybe it's going to take a second.
I mean,
going to take a
TradeView says it's a strong buy.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to take a second jump. It started for the. Oh no! See, it's done this before. I don't know. Strong buy over what period of time? Over the day? Week, not so much. Month. So yeah, I mean it's debatable. I mean you could buy it for a day and swing it pretty quick. It's an interesting company. I don't know too
sure,
much about the
it's
stock.
interesting, but no, I wouldn't invest in it. No.
All right, Carvan is out then.
Not my cup of tea.
You wrap us up.
So basically, robots suck. The
robots
guy
are awesome.
Is involved with the deli that, mind you, has been closed for almost 2 years, and market value is over. I think it was a few million.
100 million, 107.
100 million got arrested.
No, yeah, someone who was involved in, not the CEO. But yes, there was
someone who was involved in
was arrested previously for something that looked as shady as this.
And he's now been arrested again.
Was he?
I thought that's what you just said.
No,
today.
I don't think that's the case. I think what it is that he was arrested previously.
Okay, so he has an actual record of being a shady little bitch.
Yeah, that looks just as dirty as this. Has a history. There we go. CNBC.
Okay.
Guy has a history of key investor in the mysterious $100 million company that owns only a tiny New Jersey deli. Has a history of legal woes and ties to several people who have criminal convictions or have been sanctioned by regulators. They include a lawyer, an accounting firm, and a former stockbroker who have done work related to the company. Hometown, they are linked to the shareholder Peter Coker Sr., 78-year-old North Carolina businessman, and his Hong Kong son, Peter Coker Jr. So it's a little shady. It's a little shady.
A little? No. It's like a foot long. Like it is very shady. But besides the robots and the sandwiches, I mean, we were touching bases on SPY as well as a few ETFs.
Dimensional.
And I mean, we definitely covered a lot of different things. I mean, I'm glad that we have the differences of opinion to go back and forth between these. We learned that Hamed Khorsand is probably off his rocker. In reference to what he's recommending to buying, but he's playing safe. So, if you use him, kudos to you. If he's a good guy, I don't know. Again, we're not financial advisors. We're not professionals. We're just throwing out bullshit and why these things are doing the way that they are. And, potentially helping you guys learn a little bit about the Mac Daddy and the different stats that we go over. However, we will be back probably within, today's Friday, so probably like Monday or Tuesday, I assume, with more things to go over, more things to have fun with, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. So don't forget, if you're new, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys did find it entertaining, much appreciated. Don't be shy. If you have questions, or hey, if you've invested in something and you saw it take a dive, let us know. We're curious at adding additional speculations in reference to the actual news as to why it could have happened or why it could be exceeding. That's what we're here for, to add that due diligence and that additional BS.
That's a fact. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Gary. The Papa Bear.
No worries.